Hello, ladies, and maybe some gentlemen. I don't know, maybe. Today we're talking about sets and reps, follow-up questions about sets and reps for exercise, as well as some people just getting my advice on things like time zones and their effect on stress on the body, and other various bits and pieces. Let's just dive right in. So I wanted to address this one that was a comment on a recent video of mine that was a week of training after HA recovery. So about 3 weeks ago, I posted this video, just take you through how I exercise today because people are curious, what could it look like as someone who's had HA in the past to maintain exercise in the future. And this comment came from someone named Skinny Mini 377. So the name is already like, okay. But she said, I would definitely like more information around exercise and training. It did help somewhat to see how different this is to the way I used to train per social media. Now I don't train at all, but I'd love more information, like how many minutes, sets, reps. I don't know why wrapping my head around exercising differently is so hard. Thank you for your content. I'm binging your videos. So, Skitty Mini. Let's change your username first. It's going to help with manifesting the new you. But I didn't post sets and reps and amount of time spent because for the most part, it's just not a thing. So especially with the training for pickleball, I'm not doing like, oh my gosh, I need to do a certain amount of reps or I need to spend a certain amount of time. It's very much by feel. And I'm also like bouncing off of my training partner. So depending on how he's doing, might dictate how long we work on something. And depending on how bad I am at a particular skill will depend on how long or how many reps and sets we're working on something. And the cool thing with sport is you really can get lost in just like the technique and the mastering of it all. And it's not about sets and reps and time spent necessarily. It's just about like obsessively trying to improve the thing and have fun with it. So that's that. But when it comes to like the gym stuff, which I think you're referring more to, again, I always go by feel. I do not have a set program that says this is the phase you're doing and this is the phase you're doing. Could I? Maybe. But going by feel feels just as effective to me and is not creating boundaries, limitations. It's not making me feel like, oh, I have to do this or I don't have to do this. So what I'm actually going to tell you is that there is none, and training can look like none of that. And in fact, if anyone listening connects or resonates with like having a hard time giving up exercise because you're relying on exercise and you really like to go the whole way, and you're the type of person who might say like, oh, just do like 8 reps, but you're like, no, I'm gonna do 10 because it's a round number and it's more and it's double digits. Like, this is a sign that you need to spend like a couple years just working out with no particular program. Just have some skills you want to work on or some body parts you want to build or whatever, and go by how you feel, not by what the program tells you to, because there's an element here of restriction. So we talk a lot about the mental, like in our coaching with our clients, the mental fatigue and the mental like stronghold that restricting your food has. Well, also that mental stronghold of I need to exercise on these days for this long with this many reps and it needs to feel this particular way, right? Like how many of you guys hate going in and doing a deload or a light day, or how many of you would like never actually take a whole week of rest? Like so many of us have been there. So that's definitely a sign that you don't need to know how many minutes, sets, and reps I'm doing. You need to go and just do whatever you feel like, right? And then now there's some of you where whatever you feel like is a lot. Obviously, there's nuance here. If you need a limit, fine, do 5. That's the other thing. People will be like, oh, how many sets or reps should I do? And I'll have someone who's combative. Well, they're not directly to me, but like they're a silent combative. We'll negotiate. I'll be like, okay, let's keep your training. We'll see how it goes, because sometimes we can do that. And we come up with a plan to work their HA recovery around doing some exercise. And they're like, great, thank you so much. Okay, what are we gonna do? And then I'll be like, you're gonna do 3 exercises and you're gonna do 3 sets of 5 of each of them. And they'll be like, well, I just don't think I can do that little. Ding, 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 ding. You were never prepared to negotiate on this, right? So people hire us and they're like, cool, I'm gonna listen to everything you say, but I still wanna do some exercise. So if we can work around it, I'll be like, okay, are you willing to make some changes? As long as you can keep it, can we knock it down? Can we make it more helpful for recovery? They'll be like, oh, totally, absolutely. And then you'll ask them to do way less, 50%, maybe even less than 50%. And they'll just be like, oh, no. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. But that's a thing. So if you have that kind of reaction, then you absolutely don't need to be worrying about sets, reps, weight, time spent at the gym. You need to just like reestablish a relationship with movement that does not have checkboxes next to it, minimums next to it, goals, outcomes, morality, all the things. So I hope that that's helpful. I like that chat. Then I have Amelia. Says, hi Danny, I have a question related to travel and time zones. I moved overseas 3 years ago, a completely different time zone, and wonder if this could be why my periods are still missing. I have a history with ED and restriction of over exercising, which I admit I have struggled with even after moving. The thing is though, I recovered my periods twice every time I traveled back to my home country and spent some weeks with my family. Before finding your videos, I played the How Low Can I Go game, so I understand why my periods were missing, but simply don't understand why I got 1 or 2 while visiting my family. If it's helpful, I came back fully committed 3 months ago, stopped exercising, eaten even more weight gain, eaten even more, gained weight, and I'm really wondering if living in a different time zone than where I grew up can throw things off. Or is this much more than this can throw my body off this much, or my body doesn't trust me when I'm alone? Okay, so no, overall the time zones are not going to be an issue. I mean, I moved time zones. I didn't have my period in Australia and I didn't have my period in the US. And I traveled a lot as well outside of that and have bebopped to Europe, and it's never been a factor for me. Could it be a factor for someone's cycle changing in the middle of the cycle? Absolutely. If you're usually at home and then you go overseas and the time zone is completely different, you're probably going to have some hiccups in your ovulation. Something about that cycle that month will be different, but it's not going to full on disappear just because you change time zones. There is very, very likely a lifestyle and behavior connection. So I hear what you're saying here. Like, I've been fully committed since I got back. I was playing How Low Can I Go? I do know I have this history. I'm not delusional about the whole thing. Great. So it's probably something that's maybe like falling under your radar. Like, the reason time zones and travel might impact it is if suddenly you were so unable to get back on schedule that you're actually only sleeping 3 hours every night, right? Like that could be a factor. Totally. If there was anything triggering about traveling for you, so you might have gone to visit your family and eaten a whole bunch, because like, I don't know where they're from, but they're Italian and they're like, oh my gosh, all the pasta, let's go. And then you eat it and then you feel weird about it and you get home and you eat differently again. So if you go overseas and are unknowingly eating 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories, come home and go back to your normal way of eating, which tends to, which may only be 18, 2,000, 2,100 calories, that's a massive drop in your calories, even if it's unintentional and you're not even noticing. So if you're eating all of Nana's cooking, but then you're going home alone to your apartment where you just make yourself avocado toast for dinner, that's a massive drop in calories. So you really need to sit down with like a pen and paper and list out what was different about that, what is different now. This is where our period recovery game planner is really helpful for this. So a lot of people have kind of said, I have this printed out, it's on my bookshelf. If I have some hiccups coming up with my cycle, it's getting further apart or it's getting shorter or something, I review the checklist and make sure all of these are in check. So with like anything with these videos, I'm missing context about you. Were you a vegetarian? Were you a vegan? How did your past history of ED manifest? How long ago was it? What's your height? What's your body weight? How low has it been? How high has it been? And these things can really help us to dictate what you need to do. But that checklist will give you a really good first line of defense for making sure you're covering the foundationals, because there really may be some foundational things that you have never done. So you've had life circumstances that have allowed you to get a period in the past because you were, eating enough and this thing happened that caused you to rest enough and you were in a more mentally and emotionally stable state. But like, if you were never eating enough fat to begin with, the second some physical or emotional stressor happens in your life, it's suddenly not enough. Or here's a take: if your body weight has never really restored to what it should be, remembering people with EDs have an awful perspective on this, right? Well, I used to be only 40 kilos and now I am 60, but it's like, girl, you're 5'7". I know that's way, like, a lot of weight for you, but objectively in the real world, it's not that much. So you probably don't have enough body weight to be resilient and sustain homeostasis through stressful times. So your period is going to go as soon as you travel and change everything up. So it's not the time zone, it's the changing of stuff without your body being in a resilient state to handle any of it, which is not an excuse. You should be able to handle those things. So if you're getting periods here and there and you're not able to maintain them, there's still something missing in your recovery that you're not doing. I'll link to the game planner below. And I hope that this was helpful. I liked answering these questions. These were really nice questions, guys. Thank you. Very juicy. If you would like to submit one to the show, please comment below. I save them all for future episodes. And I can't wait to see. Oh my gosh. I have this lead generator that you are going to love. I should have started with this. So Misha and our team, and you're like, what's a lead generator? A lead generator is a gift that we give you guys in exchange for your email address, so then I can send you emails about like what we're up to. So if you're not already on our list, I would love to get your email. In exchange for your email, I'm going to give you this gift. See how it works? We created a meal ideas guide. I can't believe we've always been asked for this. It is a guide. People are loving it. That shows you meals that are good for HA recovery. I know. We're changing the game. It's like, here's breakfast ideas. and an explanation about it, and photos, his lunch ideas, his snack ideas, his dinner ideas, his dessert ideas. And if you are building your meals in a way that resembles the guide, you're on track. If you look at the guide and you think, oh, I don't really eat anything like that, I'm still separating all my food on a plate and eating raw carrots, this is going to be eye-opening for you. So heaps of value in it. I hope that you like it. I'll link it below, and we'll see you guys next week for more videos and questions.